And out to Lagos, where the Lagos State House of Assembly denied authorizing the use of tear gas, arrests, or any force on protesters of ongoing demolitions at the Assembly complex today. According to the Assembly, the House was officially on recess at the time of the incident, contrary to claims that lawmakers ignored the protest. It explained that despite the recess, Chairman of the House Committee on Information, Strategy and Security, Ogundipe Stephen, mobilized other lawmakers present in the complex to engage the protesters peacefully at the gate. In a statement by the chairman, claims that lawmakers watched the deployment of live ammunition are false and sensational. He also mentioned that protesters were informed that access into the complex was restricted due to security protocols and their grievances will be documented and escalated. The Lagos State Police Command earlier today mentioned that it dispersed protesters who unlawfully blocked the Awolowo Way to the House of Assembly Road for more than 6 hours. According to the police, the protesters caused disturbance of public peace, distortion of law and order. The police also mentioned that the protesters denied other Nigerians free passage throughout the affected areas, and reports of sick people fainting in their cars were recorded. Let's talk to Police Public Relations Officer SP Abimbola Debisi for more on this development. SP Debisi, thank you for joining us on TVC News at 10. What exactly changed on the ground that justified the use of tear gas on protesters at the Lagos State House of Assembly earlier today? SP Debisi, I'm asking what changed on the ground earlier today that necessitated the use of tear gas on protesters at the House of Assembly.
Oh, okay. Good evening. Yes, at the initial stage of the protest, it was peaceful, starting from Ikeja under bridge down to the State House of Assembly at Alausa. And on getting there, they were addressed by some honorable members of the House of Assembly, as well as the Commissioner of Police himself. And at some point, they became so agitated and violent, and they started throwing things at the police officers that were closer to them. I was equally present at the scene, but I wasn't so close to them. So they started throwing things at them, and at that point, there was no way we could handle it anymore other than to disperse them using minimal force. And that was why we fired the tear gas. And it wasn't aimed at anyone, contrary to what we've been seeing on some social media pages. And so we had to do that to ensure that we disperse them without causing mayhem or having caused any problem for other commuters on the road. Because at some point, they blocked the road, and they even insisted that they must go into the State House of Assembly. They were addressed and also admonished to, take caution and just maintain a side of the road so that we don't violate other road users that are going about their daily activities. Some that were some were adamant, and they started instigating others.
All right.
And
indeed.
Can you hear that?
Yes, I can. But how the protesters were dispersed has now become a topic of conversation. There are serious claims, SP, that live ammunition was used at the protesters. Can you state clearly to us if the police deployed the use of live ammunition at any point during the protest?
Not at all. Not at all. There was no use of live ammunition at all. At no point did any of the officers fired live ammunition. It was just strictly tear gas that was used.
So who really was arrested if live ammunition wasn't used? Because we are hearing that certain people have also been arrested. And how does the command ensure that arrests during protests like this doesn't infringe on the rights of people to peacefully protest?
Yes, just two people were arrested. The Arrowhead, one Taiwo Azan, aka Soweto, was arrested. In fact, he was actually the one instigating others to attack the officers, as well as one Dele Frank. They were both arrested and taken into custody immediately. The investigation is still ongoing at the state CID, and on completion of that, they will definitely be charged to court. And I can assure you that their rights won't be infringed upon. They will, of course, they will have what we call fair hearing, and maybe by the time they get to court, I wouldn't know. Don't let me make any comments on that. But we were careful enough to ensure that it was those who were instigating others that were arrested.
Can you guarantee that these protests can continue and that the police will provide adequate security to protesters as long as they choose to be peaceful?
Yes, exactly. As long as it's going to be peaceful, we are determined to provide security for them. We started with that. We were all together from Ikeja Underbridge. We were there with them, and we strolled down about 6 kilometers or thereabout from the underbridge down to Alausa area. We gave them the protection, the necessary protection, and we all walked down to the State House of Assembly. And so, if not because some decided to, hijack and become unruly, I'm sure everything will have, gone as planned without having to resort to making any arrest or anything.
We're also hearing from the House of Assembly. They insist that they did not order tear gas nor arrests, so to speak. But precisely, how does the Lagos Police Command balance securing such sensitive government facilities and maintaining public trust, especially in volatile situations like this particular protest?
Yes, balancing such, considering the nature of the assignment given to us, it might be a bit challenging to balance that. But however, we are trying our best possible to ensure that their right to protest, their right to peaceful protest is not infringed on. At the same time, we are committed to ensure that there is no breakdown of law and order in any part of Lagos State, and most importantly, any government infrastructure. And at some point, they blocked the road, and we can't tolerate that, because they are not the only users of the road, and tolerating such might warrant or might lead to violating other road users. And also, we can't take any chance by allowing that large number to go into the State House of Assembly. Anything can happen, and it might get to a point that we won't be able to control it.
All right.
So we had to quickly take action. And okay.
Police Public Relations Officer, Lagos State Command, SP Abimbola DBC. That's our time. Thank you so much for talking to us.
You're welcome.